Hello everyone, Grant, also known as the Humble Assassin, and we're back with some more Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but this time I'm going to be doing my review of the game. So to start with, I'm going to talk about the story. I have thoroughly enjoyed the story. I thought it was very interesting, and like there's so much to do, it's ridiculous, and I know a lot of people see that as a bad point. Another point I would say is this is my own opinion on this. So if you don't agree, that's absolutely fine. And also, I will probably be giving some spoilers. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I know a lot of people complain and say, "Oh, the game is so long. It's absolutely ridiculous. Why is it so long?" And I get it, but I just think, I've got probably it's about 130 hours on it. But that's because I've done everything. I've done a region, I explore the area, I do all the side quests, all the wealth, and all the artifacts, all of that. But I'd say I thoroughly enjoyed the story. I thought it was very interesting where you get to flip to all different places. I will agree it's got that same like niche of other Creed games where you kind of do feel like you're going to the same place doing the same thing, and realistically, like all the places you go to, a lot of them at the exact same sort of time have a problem. Probably not overly likely, but it's a game at the end of the day, so it's got to be like that. But you do feel like you go to a place and it's like, oh, we've got this problem, and then you go to another place and it's kind of like exactly the same issue going on. And also like the main story with Sigurd, in my opinion, I felt it was quite lackluster. That he felt he was something, he was someone who was like, oh, I have this great destiny, and then obviously it all falls short and he just kind of drops his whole dream and turns around to Eivor and say, "Oh, I'm gonna follow you now, brother. You're in charge," which is kind of like what Eivor was doing, but I felt like he respected his brother and knew he was in charge, but at the same time, he forged his own path and he made a name for himself. But I feel like by the end of the series, Sigurd just became like an empty shell who just kind of was like just gave up on life a little bit. So I quite like to see in the DLC maybe him come back and help out and stuff. Like I feel like it's not going to happen though, but I would like him to get involved in like the Paris attack and he fights with you and stuff, and you see how he can still fight with his one arm, and maybe a way in which he uses his other arm. I don't know. We've seen many things where people have lost an arm and they still have like a hook for a hand or something like that. Um, but yeah, I think that would definitely be really interesting if he does come back. I feel like he won't, but I hope they do. I hope they bring him back in some way because I feel like it's kind of ended with him being a bit of an empty shell. What else can we touch on? The Alfred storyline. I felt like it was good. Again, felt very lackluster. I would have liked like I don't know, like a big siege or something, where you got to fight against like quite a lot of forces, like when Folke and Alfred took Sigurd, and you looked outside the gates and there's this vast army. I'd have liked to have seen something like that, or where we had to fight that army in one part of the game and we were just like, we're outnumbered, we need to retreat and we need to escape. Something like that would have been interesting, um, and to maybe have some losses there. But I felt like we didn't have that many losses of major characters until that sort of end scene where we were just like, we're trying to take Alfred. We've heard he's in this small town, and it just felt a little bit lackluster. Of like, it's not like for an ending you want like a big siege or something, some sort of epic battle and things, and I didn't overly feel that. And I also felt like when there was exactly the way I was doing it anyway, where I'd explore an area, do all the wealth and everything for that area. By the time I got to the end game, I was basically max level on the skills and things, which I'll talk about in a minute. Um, and it felt like everything wasn't that much of a challenge. You'd go to an area, and I know they set that thing up so everything, even if it's under leveled, it's still within 50. It still felt like everything was quite under leveled. I believe I just had it on normal mode. I mean, yes, I could put the difficulty up, but even for that, I didn't feel an amazing sort of epic fight or anything nearing the end of the game. But I did enjoy the ending. Gunnar's wedding, as you'll see in my the end of my playthrough. Basically it all coming together and just showing that they've kind of got happily ever after until obviously we get the DLCs. Um, and then we had the Izu Animus Anonymy ending, which I've got them in my side quest, but I might actually get them all together, edit them, and put Animus Anomaly on it because I think I've just got the name of the location or what the mystery's called, and also put them into its own playlist. I don't know. I might even cut down the just to the cutscenes of the Animus Anomalies or something like that, so you can just watch all the cutscenes. But that was very interesting as well because it was like it showed you like um, Thor, Tyr, Freya, and Odin, or what they call him, Heli or something. You saw those, and they're like part of the first civilization. And there's like some weird Tron stuff going on. I have no idea what it was about, in my opinion, but it was very interesting. And it seems that Loki did something, and that Basim is like Loki or something, and now he's in modern day. It's all kind of crazy and weird, but I'm hoping we're going to get some more knowledge on like the first civilization. And it's a hard one. You know, people say, "Oh, we're going to get a modern day game coming soon," but at the same time, I'm like, "Are we going to get a first civilization game?" Because you've almost got like three, four different stories going on at once. Because you have the new games come out, and you have the main protagonist story, like Valhalla. He's not really an assassin, is he? He's just pushed into this sort of order, and he just does it because he's like, ah, sure, like I just help you out because you're my ally. But I like that aspect because I've loved. That's why I like Assassin's Creed. I love exploring different times in history and learning about their sort of civilization and how they live their lives and things. So I love that. But you've got like that life going on. Then you've got like an assassin's order. Then you've got like the first civilization, which realistically, they're the guys that you're kind of following a little bit, but at the same time, back when that was going on, there was no assassins. When we saw Origins, that was how the assassins started, and they were called the Hidden Ones. So like back when the first civilization was around, there was no such thing as assassins, or Hidden Ones. So it's like another separate story there. Then you have like the modern day story going on where they're trying to uncover the past. But I don't know. I know people say it's pulled away from the story. They've killed Desmond, and now it seems like Layla's gone, and we've got Basim. But I still enjoy, even if they don't overly show the assassin side of it, and just you still play as like assassin sort of combat style, or you can. I like going back into history and just seeing how they lived and seeing the incredible views that they make for the game. So I still enjoy that. But and a lot of people want to see like a modern day game. I'm a little bit skeptical of whether you will see that. I feel like they're going to keep flitting back and forward in time, and the only thing you see of modern day is sort of a side arc to the main thing, which I like. It's like TV series where they have episodes where they're solving a case, and at the end of the episode you get like a little tidbit of like what's going on in the main story, and eventually they get onto like the main story of like a modern day game. But I'd also like to see a first civilization game but I don't know what that would be like, wandering around with all the people, like the average people who are part of first civilization, because we kind of just see the sort of, I guess, the political side of it and the technology side of it, but to go back and have a whole game of that and wandering around the normal citizens of that era, like how does that look and how does it work? I can't really tell. And something else like my mate was talking to me about, which I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed, but I played all the games. You just watch them over the years, and I don't remember everything. But he was saying to me, "Oh, has anything ever been done about this? There's a scene where you've got some people running, they're like naked, and it's in like an Abstergo sort of setting, like where you're doing the obstacle courses. But it's like set in the first civilization stage, and he's like, oh, did that ever come back into it? And I was like, oh, I forgot all about it, and what's the clip of it again? And we haven't really seen much on that anymore. So yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see if they bring that dynamic back, and what they're gonna do, because I mean I still want to see other timelines. I want to see I want to visit other locations like the China Wall, the Taj Mahal. I'd love to see all those. So I'm sort of the mindset of I kind of want to know what's going on in the story, but I kind of want more, just more about history and things, because I just generally really enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think, whether you would want like a modern day one, first civilization, or just more about general history of like the world and things. Because I'm kind of torn. I don't really know what I'd want to see. Right, what are we talking about next? Combat, skill tree, and I put features. So I'll talk about that. So combat, I do really enjoy the combat. I think it's very good. I'm a little bit overpowered now. So you can do your counter strike like you have been doing in the previous games, if this guy wants to attack. Oh, that one failed. But yeah, you can still do all your general attacks and everything. And when you get, like I was saying, when you get towards the end of the game, you do feel extremely overpowered. You know, there's not much that can hold you back when you've got all the skill points and everything. You know, there's just nothing really going on. I mean, I'm in Hamptonshire at the moment, which is the level 350 area, and as I've said, there's just not much really in terms of holding you back. And I love the new stamina bar that they brought into it. I think the stamina bar is pretty incredible. I like the whole Dark Souls S to make it more difficult. I do feel like I preferred the original one, because I guess you were used to that in the Assassin's Creed games. But all the features and stuff are cool, like when they fire an arrow and you press the button and it deflects it and things is really cool. But I feel like it's coming into its own now a little bit more. I feel like it's a lot better than it ever was in terms of the combat. Whereas when it first came out, I was a little bit like, oh, I like this, but it doesn't feel like Assassin's Creed, you know? It just kind of feels like a brand new game, to be honest. But I feel like the combat is coming into its own now, and I would like to see a little bit more of the old style, but this new style is very nice. It's just its own thing, isn't it, really? Which is great. And let's talk about the skill tree. Oh, let's see if we can just get a throw weapon. There we go. That finishes him off. Yeah, skill tree. There's a hell of a lot, and one of the things I will say about the skill tree that I absolutely love is the fact that you can get everything. You know, I always hate those games where they bring them out, especially if they're single player. I get it, if it's a co-op game and you can't get everything, fair enough. You've got like a group of players playing, and the whole point of it is that you all divulge in different directions so that you can complement each other and get through things. But I love in this that you can have the ability to get everything. You know, you don't have to be like, oh, I wish I could get this, but I really want to go up here and get that. Eventually, you can get every single skill tree and path. And a lot of them are really cool, like the grit one where you earn back a bit of health and things like that. So this is something I do really like. Kind of feels like it's going a little bit MMO-y with the, I know, like, I don't really play them that often, but you know, you can fight or you can press, or I think you do like point and click and it just attacks, and then you press like F1, F2 and do your specials. Kind of getting a little bit like that with the fact that you can have your adrenaline. But it's nice. I really like having the adrenaline, and it kind of takes away from the realism. But at the same time, I do enjoy it. I like the fact that you can do these incredible things, because at the end of the day, it is a game, you know, so it doesn't have to be overly realistic. That's something else I wanted to mention. Like, I would have liked to have seen Harold Fairhair, like a little bit more of him, but obviously they try and keep as close as they can to history, and because of the people that he was around and conversing with, it wouldn't have fit with the timeline, I guess, and wouldn't have sort of, well, it wouldn't fit with the timeline anyway, but like, just different things happened to him that had nothing to do with the people that you were around. But you know, they put him in the game, and then you just kind of abandon Norway, and it's kind of like, you're like, oh, I would like to see a little bit of a tidbit from that. But I get it, I get the history of it. But anyway, sorry, as I was saying, like, I love the abilities and things. They like to keep it as true to history as possible, but I think at the end of the day, it is a game, so they've got to have some quirky things in there to sort of make you enjoy it. If it was all realism, well, you'd probably be dead in the first or second battle. You know, you're not gonna, you know, when you're charging at the front of a line and people are firing arrows, you're gonna go down first, aren't you? But yeah, I really enjoy the fact they do that. It's the same as I liked how they did it in this one. With the past one, they did like trolls. Is it trolls or ogres or something? The giants, whatever they were. Cyclops, that was it. The Cyclops. They were just all over the world, and I don't know. I like the idea that they could be real, like the Minotaur being underground and this first civilization set him up. I did like that idea, but I also like the idea of this one, where the fact that the gods were real and that Jotuns were seen as kind of real, but it was in a dream. It was in a dream, so they could have been real, but just sort of in a different way. You know, like in a more realistic way, they could have been real. But the fact they did it in a dream, so they kept the sort of mythological sort of under wraps a little bit, so it wasn't just like, oh, these things did exist. But I also like the twist that they could exist. You know, you can't sort of, unless, I mean, I know we can find bones and things, but you can't overly prove that a monster didn't exist and the bones for it are hidden underground. We don't know. So I like that, and the abilities I do really like as well. I enjoy those. Breath of fresh air, especially that kick horn which I found towards the end of the game. Really reminded me of Sparta, and this is Sparta. You know, kicking someone over, and the unrealistic distance that they fall is absolutely unrealistic. But I just like it. It's just quirky and things like that. This was obviously my favourite one that you saw me use a lot. Helps in a lot of battles to sort of just get them away from you for a little bit, so you don't have to be dodging and worrying about your health, and you can strip away a lot of their health. So yeah, the abilities are really good. Some of them I found quite generic, like Poison Strike, and I don't know. I just not a big fan of ones like that, and I felt like the cloud just kind of gets in your way when you're trying to fight and things. I know I did it in the Legendary Beast one, and it just kind of got in the way, and I was like, oh well, I can't really see what I'm doing because of this massive cloud in front of my face. So I found it better like just to not use ones like that. And things like, was it Feigned Death? I just find them quite pointless. I know I liked it in terms of assassins and things, but I was like, well, I'm playing a Viking game right now. He's gonna go full force and he's gonna just kill. You know, he's not gonna be going, oh no, I'm faking dead for one little fella that, you know, when a Vikings used to just charging into 10 blokes at once. You know. But I guess if someone wants to play that play style and replay the game in a different way, of just going for a more assassin approach, I suppose it's good for New Game Plus. I've never been a big fan of playing games over again. I don't know why, I've just not. But I suppose you could replay the game like 3 times and do one where you mostly use your bow, one way, which the one I did mostly was the way of the bear, just brutal force, because that for me felt like a very Viking-esque thing to do. And then obviously you could do like an assassin's approach. Yeah, but that's something. Features. I absolutely loved the feature of the horses. Something I was saying, I think in one of my earlier videos while playing this is, it's so annoying that horses don't want to swim. Why would a horse not want to swim? If he falls in the water, he's probably just going to swim in it, right? And then I realised you could go to the shop and upgrade your horse so he can run faster, so he can swim, and so he can increase his swimming speed. And I was like, thank you so much. You have heard everything that I am saying, and that is absolutely amazing. I love that. And the last thing I want to touch on is the location and graphics. Oh, and I also want to say about the fact that I like the fact that there could be different aspects of how you play the game. You know, you could choose to betray your brother in a regard. I don't really know how badly you could betray him, but obviously I always like to play the game as I'm humble assassins, and it's just the way in my nature I prefer to be the good guy, you know. And I said I didn't want to go against Sigurd, but I like the fact that you could kind of be a bit bad and could betray him and things like that. It was a nice aspect to the game that you could do that. Something I was disappointed in is we never saw, I don't know whether I mean, I'm pretty sure I've done everything in the game really, and as you can tell, because of the bugs and things, it seems like some stuff are missing, or I don't know if I haven't done something right. Because I know some of my achievements for like Kent, which I've done obviously for the story and everything, but I haven't got the achievement for it. Wait, where's Kent? There it is. But anyway, the beginning of the game when you were running away, and then the ice broke, and that wolf was attacking you, and you could choose whether you were a boy or a girl. What happened there? How did you survive that scene? In my opinion, I don't think that ever came back up, and you saw how you survived, which realistically I found very disappointing that you never got to see um, where that was and what happened there. And did someone rescue you? Did you just go under the ice and then somehow get out? I generally have no idea uh, what happened there, if he survived or anything. Um, but yeah, anyway, locations. Locations is something I absolutely love in this game, and graphics. Like, I can just sometimes just stop and just watch the water and go, wow, that's impressive. How you can see the shadows and all this sort of stuff. Or when you're climbing up a mountain and you're just like exploring the landscape and you can just see like a ruins in the distance and things. And I just think you can go there. You can't just. It's not just something to see. You can actually travel there, and that is actually somewhere that you can go. You can go to that scene in the distance, and people concentrate mostly on the story or the side quest. But if you were to just stop and just go, I'm going to go over here, there's nothing here, but I'm just going to explore, and I'm just going to watch the sort of how the world's working. There's a fox there just running past, or there's a wolf and it's hunting a fox or a rabbit or something like that. And you watch, and I feel like they don't get enough credit, the people that do that part of the game, that you don't take it in. And they have, despite the fact that you could just ignore it and you could follow them and they could just be stood there doing nothing, they don't. They actually have like a scheme of what they do, as if it is a main part of the game, that you would follow them and chase them around and things like that. And just to, like, look at this. You're looking at the mountains, it looks absolutely incredible, and you're just like, oh, that would be kind of cool if you could go there. And the thing is, you can. You want to go there, you want to explore it, you can explore it. You can go there, you can climb to the top of that rock, you can look out as far as you can see, unless you get to obviously the invisible wall. But there are many parts of the game, like, because I bought the wealth and knowledge thing, and you can see if there's stuff there. But there's sometimes just chunks of the game where there's nothing there to collect, but it's still there for you to explore and to take a look at. And look, as far as I can see, there's places to travel. You can go right over that mountain, and that's where, was it, Hordfalk is. It is so vast and such a vast game, and that's why I enjoy it. I like just to go to places like this and just have a look at it, and you can get those incredible photos. And that's what people do. They just get these games just to explore in them and take their time. I know my mate, he does that. He just explores the game and just takes his time doing the side quests and things. And I feel like that's what the game's all about. You can get it, you can play the story, you can just do the side quests and explore the world. It's completely up to you what you do in the game. Someone could have it for 60 hours and then go, oh, I've not even started the main story yet. I just did a chunk of it so I could get to England, and then I just explored the whole time, and I've just explored all these little nooks and crannies, and sometimes there's little puzzles set up just for a little bit of wealth. It's not like one of your wealth that goes on your completion. It's just a random chest that has had this whole puzzle set up for it. And the fact that it kind of felt like you had DLC already added to the game with the Vinland saga place where you go, where you can't take any of your weapons. I love that aspect. That was awesome. Little note, I did do that in one video, and at no point did I buy any weapons or anything, and just used, was it my fists or my hidden blade or something to do it, which was absolutely incredible and just a really nice challenge to have. And also the Asgard and Jotunheim areas, again, they were just areas that they were part of the story, but at the same time, you could complete the whole main game and leave out Vinland, Asgard, and Jotunheim, I believe. Um, but yeah, it's just amazing to see that you could have all these extra bits in the game that you don't even have to do. Anyway, I'm gonna give it a score. I could keep talking for ages, and I'm probably gonna finish the video and be like, "Oh, I didn't mention that point." But anyway, um, I'm probably gonna give this a 7.5. Um, due to all the bugs and things that, luckily for me, I know people have had them really bad, and I've had comments of people saying I can't get this, that, and the other, even if I restart the game. I was lucky enough to be able to finish the game, seem to be able to do all the side quests and all the stuff. I mean, I couldn't get 100% completion, but whether that's got something to do with DLC or whether it's going to be fixed so I can get like the Kent storyline. But I was just happy that I could play the entirety of the game, side quests, explore the map, and just get all the other little collectibles. But I'm giving it a 7.5 for this game. Absolutely incredible, and I've loved it. And I think I'll always be a bit biased for Assassin's Creed games because despite if it's buggy or the story's not great, I just love to be able to learn about the history of that time era and just be able to explore and just look at sites like this and just go, someone's made this and you can explore all of it. It's not just a picture over there. I could go stand on the top of that rock, and I just think that's incredible. Anyway, please give me what you think you give the score of this game, or what game you would like to see in the future, whether it be for the first Civilization, be another one about history, or whether it be modern day, whether you don't mind the aspect that is coming away from Assassins a little bit, and they just kind of put that little tidbit of oh, Assassins are still here, and it's not the main thing, but we still got it. Just let me know your opinions on it. I love to hear what you guys got to say. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your the day, everyone, or days, whatever. And I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya!